Ms. Chilton is an intelligent woman. She knows how child support works. There's no way that she did not know that child support shouldn't have been at that level that it was at.
I was not trying to be deceiving in any way.
I understand the arguments, but the court is going to grant the motion for the repayment. Screenly Court, what I'm going to do is order that the amount of $6,891 would be repaid over the same term that it was collected.
She tried to be smart when it come to child support payment, but it backfired, and now she owes him $7,000, and she is not happy about it.
This matter is before the court on the plaintiff's motion for repayment of overpayment of child support. I've read the pleadings, Ms. Greenlee Court. Is there anything else you have to add?
The only other thing I have to add, Your Honor, is looking back at the documents, the calculation, first of all, Ms. Chilton is an intelligent woman. She knows how child support works. The child support calculation that was giving her so much child support had her income at $15,000 per year. When we recalculated child support, the child support was at $50,000 per year for Ms. Chilton's income. And that was what it was recalculated on. There's no way that Ms. Chilton knew, or there's no way that she did not know that child support shouldn't have been at that level that it was at.
That was a good observation. Her income went from $15,000 to $50,000, but that information wasn't updated in the process, and this is why she was still getting the same amount on child support. Based on her changing of circumstances, she knew the child support she was getting was above the amount she was entitled to, but she quietly received it.
My client's kind of stuck where he's overpaid child support for years, essentially, to Ms. Chilton, but he has no way to get any of that child support back. And
Ms. Chilton, what's your response?
Good morning. At the time when this was calculated, as I presented to the court, I was only working part-time. I was not trying to be deceiving in any way. I submitted the information that I had, that I knew that I needed to submit.
I understand the arguments, but it would be inequitable to charge the plaintiff an amount, and again, that would, in essence, have him paying over $7,000 that he should not have had to have paid had it been calculated at that correct amount at that particular time. So the court is going to grant the motion for the repayment.
The judge was correct. Even though she claimed that she submitted the information they requested, it was evident that it wasn't added to the file, and as a result, her ex ended up overpaying her. She knew he was paying the amount he shouldn't have, so now it's just fair for her to pay him back. She knew it was an overpayment. She just took it and spent it probably on herself. I got a check back from child support. It's the best feeling ever. Awesome win. His attorney fees should have been reimbursed. A friend of mine paid support for a hold that wasn't his for years, and when he demanded a paternity test, the mom refused. He finally got it done, and it wasn't his kid, but they didn't make her pay.
Ms. Greenlee Court, what I'm going to do is order that the amount of $6,891 would be repaid over the same term that it was collected. So if it was collected over, I think you said over 12 months, then that would be repaid over 12 months.
okay, and equal monthly installments, Your Honor?
Yes.
That was a great outcome. It's nice when justice is made. Since she benefited from the money that wasn't hers, it's just fair to give it back to the person it belongs to. This case wouldn't exist if she had been honest from the start, and this is something she will have to think about. She's bringing up all those excuses that are simply not his problem. She thought the judge was going to be on her side. $15,000 per year while getting over $50,000 in child support. He's basically taking care of her. It's not her fault that she knew she was being overpaid. The state should reimburse him and collect it from her. My ex-wife did not report that she has been working since October 2023. We go to court in August for child support modification.
There's no way that she did not know that child support shouldn't have been at that level that it was at.
As the lawyer said, she is an intelligent woman and there was no way she didn't know that she was being overpaid, but she decided to keep it low-key, thinking that he wouldn't find out. Instead of having that attitude, she should have been honest and informed them that she was being overpaid. Let's imagine that she gave them all the information related to the changes in her circumstances, but they still didn't reduce the child support amount she was getting. Providing the information wouldn't spare her from the responsibility of informing them about any anomaly she found in the case. Also, it's not a valid excuse to keep taking money she knew she wasn't entitled to. And to make it more interesting, she was acting as if she had nothing to do with it. For some reason, she thought she could get away with it, but the judge said, "Not this time." That was a great judgment. It's all about fairness. He knew what happened, and it wouldn't make sense to let her keep the money that didn't belong to her.
This man has been trying to answer for years. Why is Shelby County Juvenile Court forcing him to pay for a child that is not biologically his? What's even more unusual, he says the judges at Juvenile Court have an idea who the real father is.
Yet they're still demanding he pay up.
This was the most interesting part of this story. Why are they still requiring him to pay when they have an idea of who the real father is? Are they expecting him to be responsible for a child he didn't create? While they are after the guy who is not the father, the actual child's father is walking around free of any child support. How can this make any sense?
But the reality in Memphis is just because you're not the daddy doesn't mean Shelby County Juvenile Court won't make you pay.
I was down there in handcuffs and chains.
Having to deal with that when it's your child is already a tough situation. But when we talk about the one that is not yours, it becomes something out of this world. Imagine finding yourself in handcuffs for another man's child. I don't even know what to say about this. I can't even imagine the feeling.
This mound of paperwork shows a juvenile court judge ordered him to pay child support even before the birth.
I didn't do a voluntary acknowledgement. I didn't sign the birth certificate. All I knew is we legitimated the child in your name.
This should not happen. Mandatory DNA test before payment of child support. He was named father by default. Child support has accumulated from a government account. Now the real father can't pay because his name was not written. All cases of support need paternity done. People should start asking for child support from these judges, and then we will see how fast these judges change their minds. They want that money. If they know for sure that he is not the father, why are they expecting him to pay child support? I bet they would understand his position if they were in his shoes. No person wants to be responsible for paying child support for the next 18 years for another individual's action. It's so difficult to understand their logic. I honestly wish I could comprehend the thought process behind it. Before this case, I thought once you do the DNA test, everything will be solved. But apparently, I was wrong, as you can still be reliable to pay for the next 18 years for a child, even when the DNA proves that it's not yours. This is something I wasn't expecting.
The judge ordered him to pay child support even before the birth.
I didn't do a voluntary acknowledgement. I didn't sign the birth certificate. All I knew is we legitimated the child in your name.
I didn't even know they could do that. If any of you know in which circumstance it applies, please drop that information in the comment section. How could he be nominated as a father by default? Is it the case where she points him as a father and they give him the title regardless of his opinion?
The max. What's the max? What's the max a man should be paying for child support?
The max, and I'm gonna be totally honest. With a regular kid,
Yeah, I'm talking about regular flow.
with
Like,
the regular kid, at the most, a monthly 10,000 a month. A month.
You lost. You
said a month.
10,000.
80% of America don't even make $10,000 a month. Be for real. As a mother myself, she is just talking because she has lips. She ain't made 10K ever. Be for real. First of all, what does regular kid mean? This short clip demonstrates the level of delusion this generation is operating on. And what makes it concerning is the fact that she looks serious when she made that statement. Imagine walking around thinking that a man would pay this amount on child support, not even realizing that only around 15% of the US population is making that amount per month. So even those who are on that level still won't be able to afford it, as they also have their own expenses. Here she is expecting a man to spend that amount on child support for one child. This is delusion at the highest level. Besides that point, What does the so-called regular kid need to eat that he or she will need $10,000 per month? That is the most important question. What is the money for? What food will they be eating that will cost this much? I guess she also needs money to uplift her lifestyle, and that's why she requires this much, but this is not the purpose of child support. The best part was when she talked about it as if it was $1,000. She gave the energy of someone who sees it as nothing, but currently she probably doesn't even make it in 5 months.